And a huge turnoff for me was, I'm gonna get into it, but we have already had some things going on with the RV that you have no privacy, which I don't believe is the case. It's not realistic anymore. They're doing too much with the rat. Limiting your use in the RV will save you lots of money. Living in an RV is pretty brutal. This video is proudly sponsored by Rocket Money, but more about them later. Hey, it's Izzy and what's been busy. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about RV living, obviously, but I'm going to be giving you all the tea when it comes to RV living. It has been about 2 months since we have fully moved from hotel living into this type of lifestyle, and I'm just gonna be completely honest and give my first impressions about this whole thing. Okay, let's get into it. So I have my phone out right now and I'm going to be looking at the notes and telling you all how I personally feel about this lifestyle as a teen. And the number one thing I wrote was RV living is better if you don't travel. I personally remember watching a lot about RV living, and a huge turnoff for me was all of the complications people were having on the road. And what I realized is that majority of those problems stemmed from them traveling a lot. And I'm gonna be honest, my family and I aren't big travelers, and I think that's kind of funny because we have literally lived in so many different states. Like, I've lived in Ohio, Florida, Texas, what other states? Georgia, Michigan, Oklahoma, and I have lived in these states multiple times. So it's really nothing new for me, but we never traveled just to visit states. Like, some people find that really exciting. That was never our reason. We were honestly just moving there based off of job opportunities and circumstances, but I never imagined really traveling with the RV. I mean, there's that option, of course, if we want to now move our home, but I feel like that's more of a last resort because I think that puts a lot of wear and tear on the RV. So I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the things we were hearing were based off of traveling with the RV, and I guess I wished I knew more about how to live in it when you are just stationed. You don't have to move everywhere. So I do think living in an RV, you're going to have a better experience, of course, because you're not moving your home all across the country. So that's just how I personally feel about it. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna get into it, but we have already had some things going on with the RV and we're not even moving it. So I just cannot imagine taking this thing everywhere with us. Second thing is, it's not as hard as you think it would be. I think people get really intimidated because they see just this tiny box essentially on wheels. But I guess for me, we are coming from a place of obviously homelessness. I did want to kind of give that disclaimer as well, that my point of view is stemming from bouncing from hotel to hotel, living outside, sleeping in hotel lobbies. I mean, we were sleeping at gas stations, so my sleeping arrangements were not up to par. And I think if I am coming from the perspective of like selling my 4,000 square foot home to live in an RV, yeah, it doesn't seem as exciting. I mean, I've heard those stories before on YouTube and some people seem really excited to do that, which happy for you. But for us, it comes more from homelessness and really needing an alternative, needing something that was going to be affordable for us, and RV living just really fit for us. I do think because me and my family have been like enclosed in such small spaces for quite a bit of time, RV living really wasn't that much different. I mean, I'm sharing a bed with my mom, but that's not really anything new because we've been sharing beds for quite a while because of the hotel living. It used to be 3 people per bed. And honestly, the bed's actually quite big where I don't even feel like I'm sharing with anybody. Another thing I believe people kind of can have some misconception about is like privacy, that you have no privacy, which I don't believe is the case. Sometimes people are concerned about families being crammed in like this small space because there's no privacy, but that is not true. Like, I do feel like I have enough privacy because our RV has a door. Now, if you're talking about the RVs that have just a curtain, now the separation can be a little bit more difficult in those RVs because we saw that and I was like, nope, this one's the one. Once I saw that there was a door, I was like, this is the one. But I guess I'm just used to living in smaller spaces, not having a big home. I'm just really grateful we have somewhere to lay our heads, but it's really not as hard as people make it out to be. But once again, I am talking from a different perspective about being stationed in one place. Now, the traveling, I feel like I probably just have stories story after story after story. But so far, it's been going pretty well, and I guess things will start to get really interesting though once winter hits. That is something to really think about when you're living in an RV. The third thing on my list is it's much easier to hit financial goals in an RV versus a home. Is this a hot take? Is this too much to say? I do believe it's easier to hit financial goals because the rent and living expenses are a lot smaller. Now, once again, if you're traveling, that may not actually always be the case. I've heard that traveling can get, of course, really expensive, but I'm talking about just renting out a lot to place your RV. It's really not that expensive. Like, we pay $750, and recently the price actually went a little bit more up because we decided to get a storage unit here, but it's so affordable. It is so freeing. I don't really understand why we haven't done this sooner because I feel so free. I feel like a bird and I can literally just fly around and do whatever I want. It's nice to have bills, but manage them well and not feel too overwhelmed because I do a lot, I would say, and for my family. I don't fully support my family because, like, Gabby has a job now. It looks like child support starting to pick up a little bit, to be honest, but everyone's starting to kind of venture out and do their own things, and I just help out my family in any way I can, but I wouldn't say I fully support my family. But if you were to really think about this whole situation, like, if I had to support my whole family, technically at least RV living would have been more suitable because it would have been affordable instead of paying $3,000 a month for a home, and that would have been stressful, and that doesn't include utilities. I just can't. I don't like that feeling. And even though I never fully experienced it, I watched my mom go through so much that I don't think I am really open to that idea of like a home anymore, or I don't know, it just seems like a waste. I'm hearing more people feel that way as well. My mom was talking to our veterinarian recently. She was at the vet for Luna, and she was talking to someone there, and they were saying, hey, how is RV living? Because she's been thinking about it for a minute and she really wants to try it out. And she is a veterinarian. Like, how come these professional jobs, these jobs that people are running after to get security, still don't even feel like it's enough? Like, she's talking about how she's tired of paying so much money into rent. And I just think everyone's over it. They're burnt out from it. And I am saving up for quite a bit of things as well. For me, I'm currently saving a huge chunk of my income to go towards my education. Studying abroad is really important to me. However, that cannot happen if I don't get on top of my expenses. But with today's sponsor, Rocket Money, I can get all the help that I need and manage my money easily. This personal finance app allows you to manage subscriptions, lower bills, make a custom budget, and grow your savings all in one place. You guys know I'm a big advocate for saving money and finding systems to help manage your finances. Especially as a teenager, managing money can seem extremely scary, but I love that Rocket Money makes my financial habits crystal clear. Once you connect your bank account, Rocket Money identifies all of your subscriptions in a single list. From there, you can get rid of unwanted subscriptions because Rocket Money may help you cancel them with just a few clicks. Like I said earlier, pursuing my education is a big financial goal of mine, but there's still other milestones that I want to hit. So with Rocket Money's automated savings feature, I can start to see my savings grow. Rocket Money by default analyzes your accounts to determine the optimal time to save, which means I'll be reaching my goals fairly quickly. Rocket Money can create a customized budget in seconds. With this, you'll be able to identify your top spending categories, and they will give you the insight you need to stay within your budget better. I know finances can seem overwhelming and complicated, but it doesn't have to be. Take control of your finances today. Go to rocketmoney.com/IzzyBizzy to get started for free. Thank you so much, Rocket Money, for sponsoring this portion of the video, and now let's get right back into it. But yeah, it's been genuinely life-changing when it comes to finances. I mean, sometimes I forget that I'm even paying bills. Like, I don't even feel like I'm paying for anything. I know I'm not living here for free, but why does it feel that way? There's just something so rewarding about, obviously, giving what is necessary. I think with a home, it is just so overpriced that you don't even feel like you're getting your money's worth out of it. And a lot of people are honestly more outside of their home, but yet they're paying so much for these four walls. And it's not realistic anymore. they're doing too much with the rat. But I do like that I'm able to really manage my finances. I have been able to use so many different systems. I'm writing things down and tracking my expenses for my business or personal things, like no matter what it is. That's why I am using Rocket Money to just make sure I'm on top of everything. Like, you really do need systems, because another thing is, when you are living this lifestyle, you can also start to spend money in other areas when you're supposed to be saving. So I am trying to really stay on top of my saving goals, and I don't want even this lifestyle to make me feel like, oh, I don't need to save for anything, you know, everything is so cheap, I'm okay. When, like, no, you need to always make sure you have savings set aside. So your girl's staying on top of her finances. We're staying on top of it. If this homeless journey hasn't taught me anything, then I don't know what will. Just always being aware of your financial situation, preparing for the best and preparing for the worst. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am getting like so cold right now, and the sun is down. It was so beautiful earlier. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm literally shaking. Like, I'm shaking. Anywho, let's continue on with this convo. Interesting convo. Also, comment down below if you disagree with any of these, or if you agree with some of these statements that I'm making, because I'm just giving you all the harsh truth that I have learned, just my first impressions. But the next topic we're going to talk about is limiting your use in the RV will eliminate issues and other expenses. Yeah. I think this is important to let people know, because right off the bat, people think like, oh, it's going to be so inexpensive. When I think RV living can be inexpensive if you take that route. Let's just be honest here. These RVs, they're like so expensive, but they're so cheap because it's like a mobile home on wheels. We knew from the get-go that like 6 people in an RV, girl, like that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. So we kind of limit our use in this bad boy, because we know if we're doing certain things in the RV, it's just going to put more wear and tear on it. So for example, if you want to get a little personal here, I know you all are curious about the whole bathroom situation. I've seen some of the comments. When it comes to the bathroom, we do not really use this bathroom in here. We have a bathroom, there's a bathroom right here, and we go there. Most of the time, we use this bathroom more for like a number one. We do not put tissue down there either. Like, we are just very much aware that whatever goes in eventually has to come out, and you have to properly dispose of it, and it's just gonna be too much with 6 people. So if you really wanna know the whole bathroom situation, we do a number one in there. Anything else, you go to the RV park's restroom, because it's just going to be too much. I'm going to kind of get into a little bit more about, you know, some of the downsides about RV living, but limiting your use in the RV will save you lots of money. That's another thing. When it comes to propane can be quite expensive. During wintertime, we'll probably have to use propane for heat. But I even like with our RV that we have that fireplace, which is electric. It doesn't require any propane, thank God. So we can at least get some heat, which is pretty good. I am thinking when it starts to get really, really cold, we're going to have to get propane. But propane is just, it's another expense. It's something else to think about. So even when we're cooking, we bought everything that was electric, because our RV can take pretty much everything. We don't have any problems with the electric. I know some RVs can't handle too many things being plugged in, but our RV has no issues. We have a whole air fryer, oven, we have a griddle, like we just have everything. We have a toaster, we have all the appliances. And we just like to use electric because it saves us moolah. We get to save money that way instead of trying to add on to the expenses. So limiting your RV does help a lot. Next thing that I have noticed since living in an RV is things randomly stop working. Yeah, it's only been 2 months and our refrigerator doesn't even work anymore. I don't even know what's happening. I don't know what's wrong with the refrigerator. It's been making a lot of weird noises recently. We don't even know why. We're definitely gonna have to get that checked out. At first we thought it was like a leveling issue. So I'm gonna be honest, we use more of the refrigerator outside. We have like this mini fridge, and at first we're like, you know, we're never gonna really use that because it's outside. Yeah, that's not true anymore. We use that mini fridge for literally everything because the refrigerator and the freezer is busted in there. So every time we want to eat something that is refrigerated, someone has to walk out, unlock the storage, and go get something from the mini fridge. Things randomly stop working, you guys. That just happens. Even in a home, you're always going to have to maintain something, but just remember, you know, this is, like I said, a mobile home on wheels. I feel like that's the best way to explain RV living for people, because most people know about a mobile home. It's a mobile home on wheels, and things are just not up to par, which is why you have to have your finances in order, because like I have personally an emergency fund. So even if I want to get it checked out, I don't think it's an issue because I have the finances to properly make sure that this RV is okay. You cannot afford it. You always need an emergency fund. Even if you're in a home, just know things have already broken. They have stopped working. We've had to glue things back together already. And then there's so many people in an RV. It's kind of bound to happen. But, you know, we're not in La La Land. We knew what we were getting ourselves into, and it just is what it is. When you have to live somewhere, wherever you live, you're always going to have to maintain that living space. Another thing I realized is that RVs look smaller on camera than they do in real life. I thought it was very interesting when some people, not really everyone, but there were some people commenting like, oh my goodness, you know, how can you live in such a small space with only, you know, that much room, and there's this many amount of people, and you have a dog, and it's like, yeah, we do not feel crowded in this RV at all. Yeah, it's funny that the hotel is bigger than this RV, yet I felt smothered when it was just only 6 people in total. So it was only 5 other people, and it's just like, why do I feel like I have no space in this room? But with the RV, I don't feel that way, and it really looks smaller on camera. Like, the RV is pretty spacious. Even Luna today, she was running back and forth, you know, in the little hallway, if you want to call it a hallway at this point. And I know eventually she's going to get bigger, but people kind of made it seem like, you know, you can't have dogs, you can't have children, you can't like do anything in the RV, you have no room for anything, and that is just not true. Like, it's quite big. Considering that it's a budget-friendly RV, I would say it's pretty spacious. I did think when we moved in, I was like, oh, we're gonna all be constantly saying, excuse me, it's gonna be so crowded, but it's really not that crowded. So I'm glad that now that I'm living in the RV, that theology was actually debunked once we started living here. Your girl's getting really cold, so let's finish this video. I'm getting really, really cold. Oh my goodness. Another thing I realized about RV living is it's not really about the size of the space, but it's about how you organize the place. My mom and I have been, you know, organizing our room, and we're like, why is it taking so long to organize such a small space? We kind of just already answered that question, and it's really because it's a small space. Before, you have this, you know, huge room, and you have all these options, and you have space to just kind of throw things around, and even if it's not organized, you can make it look as if it's organized. And I realized with the RV, it was taking us a lot longer to get everything in order and to make sure everyone had their stuff in a specific spot. I mean, even the things that I showed you all in my video of me, like, I can't remember what it was called. Oh my goodness, why am I blanking? But I was showing RV living for the first time, and a lot has changed even since that video, and it's only been such a short amount of time. It's just the space. It's taking us a lot longer to get things in order and find specific bins. We have been trying to find specific bins for our shelf for literally weeks. It was taking so long because the height was so specific and the width is so specific. And even now we're trying to find bins for a new shelf, and I'm like, oh, we're buying all these bins. They're either too small or they fit perfectly, but you can't close the door. There's all these like things you have to maneuver. So I really believe what makes RV living easier is how you organize the space. And my mom is the organization queen. You all know that. She really knows how to organize the place. And it has been taking a bit longer, but I'm realizing that if you do not know how to organize, oh my goodness, you need to know how to organize. Like, it's a necessity at this point. It's mandatory. You need to organize your place in order for it to feel like a home and for everything to be in order. Another point that I made is the community is richer. And I heard a lot of people say that in certain YouTube videos. They're like, oh yeah, the community is so nice and everyone's so close. And I can say that's actually true. Now living in this RV park, you know, we have seen people come, we have seen people go. And technically speaking, our RV park hasn't fully separated the full-timers from, you know, the people who are just traveling, which eventually that will happen. So we'll have to move again. And we did have to move to a different lot because we had some issues with our past neighbors. But besides that experience, I can say the community is much richer. After communicating more with others, like everyone seems really, really nice. Everyone wants to help you out. And I think because everyone sees that my mom is a single woman and we've had a lot of assistance here, very happy with the people that we have met so far. Everyone just seems overall really friendly, and I do like how people are trying to come together to really assist you and make sure you're having a good time while you're doing this whole RV living, because I think everyone recognizes that we're all in this together and it can be a bit tough. But it'll get resolved. So we didn't even have to move our RV, actually. We had someone already move the RV to a different lot for us, which really, really appreciate. And then anytime we have a question, we literally have someone that we just go to immediately. We're like, oh, what's going on here? Oh, is this normal? Like, we've just had so much assistance, which I am so grateful for, because we don't have a man here, okay? There's no man to lean on, so we're having to figure it out. I also think my mom was really intimidated by that at first, because she's thinking like, oh my goodness, you know, she's a single mom having to figure all this stuff out, having to be a mechanic, and, you know, how is she gonna do it all? But we've had so much assistance, and I am just grateful to God that He has brought people in our lives to really help us out a little bit. And the last point that I made is it gets dirty fast. Yeah, unfortunately, living in an RV, beyond space-wise, like I knew it was going to get dirty because there's not a whole lot to work with, obviously. You cannot leave things around like you would in a home. It's just going to get very messy. Like, we're constantly having to tell the triplets, you have to put your stuff away because things get very chaotic very fast. But I think something that I don't really hear a lot of people talk about is just the dust. The dust is different in an RV. I'm telling you all, it's so weird. It's like the dust sticks more to the items, and I don't even know how to explain it, but it gets so dusty in the RV, so you have to be very mindful of that. And the dust seems to stick more onto the items. I don't know the science behind that. I'll just say at least our RV is doing that, and I was not expecting that when we moved into the RV, that the dust was going to be a little bit different than in a building. Another thing that I wish someone would have told me as well is that the RV gets dirty in a lot of other ways because the material is so cheap. Like, yes, even in a home, the materials can be pretty poor, but there's certain items by default that are just better. For example, most toilets are made with porcelain. Our toilet is made out of plastic. Like, you can't even use bleach in the RV. You can't use the same cleaning supplies. So cleaning has been a little weird. Like, we're having to maneuver that factor in a way that we just didn't have to before. Like, I never thought about a plastic toilet before. You're just having to be more mindful that these items are even more delicate. Even your cheapest home will at least have like a pretty good sink, a pretty good toilet, a pretty good refrigerator. And I'm just seeing here that, you know, it's not always the case. Like, our sink, once again, it's plastic, and you have to be aware of what you're putting in the sink because then it will stain it, versus in a home, you have a lot more grace. There's just so much more grace when you're in a home versus when you are in an RV. Living in an RV, it's pretty brutal. Things can get messy very fast. Okay, now it is really, really dark and it is really, really cold, and I want to get back inside the RV. Don't worry, guys. By the way, I know you all may be concerned about my safety. My sister's out with me. I'm okay. I'm not just like hanging out in the dark by myself, but I'm going to end the video here. Thank you all so much for watching. This is a little different, you know, me being outside. Let me know what you think about this whole setup. I'm trying to like spice it up for you guys a little bit because there's not that many angles in the RV, obviously. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm just giving you know a little bit of my insight. These are some of the pros, these are some of the cons, and I'm excited to make more RV content in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye bye.